let's do this again. What's up, Street Thugs? My name is Brigg, and we're going to go over my Radfire Fire Farm Brute. Except this time, I'm not going to have a big white glare in the background. I'm not going to have a horrible microphone with old rinky-dink headset. It's not going to be horrible quality. It's actually going to be a decent video. It's funny because my video for my Fire Farmer is probably it is my highest viewed video that I have. It's over 20,000 views. And it is also one of my most embarrassing videos because the quality is so bad. Every time I look at that video, I'm like, oh my God, this looks horrible. But people are having a hard time accessing the mids because mids has changed several times since I did that video. So this is going to be an updated with the mids reborn. And because this is a new mids reborn, unfortunately, the old data chunk will not work. So we're going to kind of go over this real fast. So if you're in this video and you want to see how to do this real easy, rather than trying to figure it out, I am going to put the chunk into the description. You will have to copy and paste the whole thing to put it in. It is a lot of information, but I'm going to kind of show you here. Open share menu. This is the data chunk right here. This big, giant, massive thing is the data chunk. This whole thing, okay? Control A for all. So this is what I copy and paste in the description. You have to copy this entire thing to put that in there. And in order to put this into Mids Reborn, you do the same thing. You open build sharing and you import via data chunk, and you're going to copy and paste that entire thing in there and then import. And obviously I already had it over here, but you saw the flash, it did load it. So then you'll have access to see exactly what I'm looking at here if you're running this. Now, also, what you need to know is if you are running this, when you open this, to make sure that you are running the right Mids Reborn. It's the one that's in Homecoming and it's available there. The key thing you want to look for is when you load this, when you open this program, you're going to get this image. This is the Mids Reborn image that shows up when you load this new one. This version is 3663, I think. The top of the page, it just says version 3.6.6. I could swear there's another 3 after that. But as long as it says version 3.6.6, you should be okay. But once you pull that up, you can actually look at the same thing I'm looking at. Again, for the breakdown, we're just going to zip through all the different powers I have selected. So as you can see here, I have my primary power set, which is Radiation Melee. I have secondary power set, which is Fiery Aura. And then my pulls, I have Leaping, Speed, Concealment, Leadership. And for my epic pull power, I have Moon Mastery. Now, if you are playing a hero, you will have to go do a patron power to unlock this. I usually go do Black Scorpion. Anyway, for Radiation Melee, Radioactive Smash, Fusion, Radiation Siphon, Irradiated Ground, Devastating Blow, Atom Smasher. I'm a big fan of Atom Smasher. And then for Fiery Aura, we have Fire Shield, not Fiery Shield, Fire Shield, Blazing Aura, Healing Flames, Temperature Protection. You'll see I skipped Plasma Shield. Don't need the extra fire protection or energy or holds or sleep. You're not going to really deal that when you're on a farm. Consume, Burn, and Fiery Embrace. And now for my leaping, I have Combat Jumping. That's all I took, mainly just for the mobility. Pretty much I just like to turn on a dime when I'm in midair. For speed, Hasten and Super Speed. For concealment, and these are primarily just mule powers. These are specifically so I can take extra luck of the gambler, so I can max out my recharge. Your recharge for most of your powers is going to be 3 times their normal limit. I'll give you an example here in a little bit. But stealth, grant invisibility, infiltration. Then for leadership, we have maneuvers, tactics, and then for Moon Mastery, we have Moo Lightning, electrical fences, and Bolt Lightning. The reason I take epic pull Moo Mastery is because you get 2 AoEs. Now, granted, one of them is a cone AoE, but still, that allows you to do a lot more damage to a giant group. And again, this build is based on a lot of AoE damage at once, so you're just taking down entire mobs really fast all at once. Now, for your example, I guess we can take Burn. So Burn has a standard recharge of 25 seconds. With this build, my recharge is at 7.49 seconds, almost 8 seconds. That is over 3 times faster. And the way radiation works is when something is contaminated, you can hit it with a single attack and it'll spread that contamination to everything around you. So that makes your single target attacks into AoEs as well. Not a lot of damage, but it is a little extra. But we don't take too many single targets, but we do take Radioactive Smash, which is a single target. If you can get that in your rotation, it will help. But like I said, everything's going to be recharging so fast. By the time you get to a point where like, oh, I can squeeze in Radioactive Smash, something else, one of your other AoEs is going to be available. So now let's jump through all these powers. I am keeping these up on the screen. If you don't want to watch the whole video, you do not have to. If you can, please leave a like. Watching the video does give me help on time-wise and hours, but I'm going to leave this up. So for your convenience, if you want to just come here and see this really fast and then scram, that is fine. You don't have to zip around trying to find the whole page. I'm going to leave this page up the whole time so you can see all the powers. Granted, they won't have all the details with them, but you have to be somewhat familiar with the icons. Hopefully that helps somebody out. Okay, so Radioactive Smash. So for Radioactive Smash, we have Superior Unrelenting Fury. You can see I took accuracy damage and damage recharge time, add and doctor. And that's going to give me a 4% damage buff. This is one of your brute archetype sets. The reason I only took 2 is we're going to spread this around. There's a lot of stuff in here that does not help you as a farmer. Now, if you were going to make this a PvE type build where you're doing, I mean, farming is PvE, but you know, something other than farming, that's a different story. I do have an old build that does do all that, but for this purpose, we want damage. We want damage recharge. And in this case, this is going to give us 4% damage. So this is a 6-slot set. Of course, most powers are. I split this up into 3. So that means you're getting 12% damage just off this one power set. It's just scattered around. And there, of course, is your Radioactive Smash, your single target attack. Coming down to Fire Shield, we have 3 Aegis. And I have Resistance, Endurance, Recharge, and Resistance Endurance. Mainly, I wanted to get to that 3.13 fire defense. That way we can boost our fire defense to the soft cap. And if you come to the end, we have Steadfast Protection, which is 3% defense overall. Obviously going to help boost your fire defense to that 45% soft cap. Next, we have Blazing Aura. So this one, I took only 5 of the Superior Brute's Fury. I took everything but the Aider, which is the accuracy, damage, endurance, recharge, right? The 4. Main reason with this one is 4% damage and 10% recharge. And then for my 6th one, I took Obliteration, chance for smashing damage. Based on a suggestion I got from Taxi, I went crazy with the chance for damage enhancements. Come down to Healing Flames. So this is Aegis. I took all the recharge powers. So you have Resistance Recharge, Endurance Recharge, Resistance Endurance Recharge. This is primarily to get that going as fast as possible. The standard recharge for Healing Flames is about 40 seconds. This is down to just over 10 seconds. From Healing Flames, we're going to come down to Combat Jumping. Again, we have Luck of the Gambler. And then I have 4 of the Red Fortune defense, Defense Endurance, Defense Recharge, Defense Endurance Recharge, and Defense. And I took those 4 because you get a 2% damage buff. Down to Super Speed, I just threw a standard IO in there. You can do whatever you want to. If you have Ageless set up, Endurance is not going to be an issue. Temperature Protection, I took Aegis and I took the Resistance Endurance Recharge, and Resistance. That gives you again that 3.13% to fire defense. And then I took the Gladiator's Armor TP Protection. That's again, just like the Steadfast Protection, it is a 3% defense overall. Just with those 2 enhancements alone, Gladiator's Armor and Steadfast Protection, you are getting 6% to your fire defense. Stealth, Mule Power, Luck of the Gambler, pretty simple. Up here, Grant Invisibility, same thing, Mule Power, Luck of the Gambler, Recharge Speed. Infiltration, this is one of the newer powers. This is also going to be a Mule Power for the Luck of the Gambler. If you were playing on a different server, this will be a different power. We'll come down here to Irradiated Ground. I have Armageddons. I have only taken 5. Unfortunately, there are 2 powers here that are being completely wasted. I would have loved to have removed them. This one gives you 15% accuracy because it doesn't do you any good to do all this damage and all this recharge if you don't have any accuracy boost. It also gives 10% enhancement recharge time. Phenomenal. Unfortunately, it has 6% for fire resistance and 4% for recovery. They are completely wasted. You are going to get the 5 max that you can have from other things. All the other powers that you get, that 6% fire cold and that 4% recovery. The 6th slot is going to be your 5% fire defense, which you definitely don't want to lose. So you are going to be wasting these here. But the 15% accuracy and the 10% recharge, worth it. And then for the 6th slot here, I have an Eradication, chance for energy damage. So there's an extra chance for damage. And then come down to Consume. It's just 6 slotted with Superior Avalanche. And this is one of those going to give you the 5% fire defense and 6% fire and cold, 4% recovery, blah, blah, blah. They just keep coming. Then we're going to come down to Maneuvers. So Maneuvers, I have another Luck of the Gambler, I believe is your 5th recharge. And then we have Red Fortunes. In this case, I have everything but Defense Recharge. This is going to get you your 2% damage buff, as well as an extra 5% recharge. Come down here to Radiation Siphon. This one I have Analyze Weakness, chance for 2-hit bonus. And then I have 2 of the Superior Unrelenting Furies. This is another of that original Brute archetype set that has the 4% damage buff. Okay, that's the second one. Come down here to Devastating Blow. I have 6 of the Superior Blistering Colds. That's going to give you, again, the 4% recovery, 6% fire resistance, as well as another 5% fire cold. All necessities. Come down to Burn. So Burn, I tweaked a little differently. I have 3 obliterations, okay? I have a chance for smashing damage. I have a damage and an accuracy damage recharge. This alone gives you an additional 3% damage buff. And then I threw in an eradication chance for energy. You'll notice I have that somewhere else. It is not a unique. Come over here to Syracuse Dervish. I've got chance for lethal damage. And then here is the Armageddon chance for fire damage. So in this one alone, I have 4. In Burn alone, there is 4 slots that has a chance to get bonus damage. Up to Hasten, I've got 2 recharge IOs, and come down to Atom Smasher. Atom Smasher has Superior Unrelenting Furies. This is the other 2. It's the Accuracy Damage Endurance Recharge, and Recharge, Regen, and Endurance. And then also at Atom Smasher, I have 4 obliterations. As you can see, I did not take damage or damage recharge because my damage is at 120%. It's already yellowed out, which means I'm about to hit red with Enhancement Diversification. Pretty much balance those out how I felt like it was balanced. If you find something better, go for it. And obviously, again, you can see I have another chance for smashing damage. This is a nice point blank AoE. And we're going to come down to Moo Lightning. Moo Lightning has all of the Superior Winter's Bites. Again, that's another one with the 4% recovery, 6% fire resistance, as well as the 5% fire defense. Come down to Electrifying Fences. I have Ragnarok. I have 5 of them in there. Everything but chance for knockdown because screw knockdown. 6% fire resistance, 15% for accuracy, and then of course the 10% recharge enhancement. That is phenomenal. Gotta have those. Ball Lightning, I took all 6 of the Superior Frozen Blast. Same thing, resistance 6%, recovery 4%, and the 5% for fire defense. For Tactics, again, like I said, I've gone back and forth on Tactics. It is a high endurance user, but I appreciate the accuracy because I don't want to miss. I took 2 adjusted targeting, 2-hit buff endurance recharge, and the 2-hit buff endurance, and that gives you an additional 2% damage. And then come down to Fusion. And that one I put the Gaussian Synchronized Fire Control chance for buildup because that buildup can be awesome. And then for Fire Embrace, I just stuck into Recharge IOs. If we come down and look at health, I have Miracle plus Recovery. I usually lean towards that one over Numina. Regeneration is not really an issue. Recovery is a little more. Stamina, I usually just throw in 1 Stamina IO. And then for the Incarnates, I have for Alpha Musculature Core Paragon, which is the damage booster. For Destiny, Aegis Core Epiphany, I am a big fan of Aegis Core Epiphany. There is very few times that I will not take it. I do not want to worry about endurance. This is a lifesaver. You just got to make sure that you are constantly keeping this on cooldown. And if you do, you will have no endurance issues whatsoever. For Judgment, I have Ion Core Final Judgment, just because it's pretty. For Hybrid, I have Assault Core Embodiment, and that is for just a chance for bonus damage. For Interface, I have Reactive Core Flawless Interface, and that's mainly for a chance of resistance debuff. So hopefully they take more damage, as well as a damage over time with fire. So once again, there is my Rad Fire Farmer Brute. I love this build. I have so much fun with it. Lori, aka Mrs. Brigg, is not a big City Heroes player. She could never really get into it, but I made her a fire farmer, a Rad Fire Brute with my build, and she loved to farm. It made her feel power. So she had a lot of fun with that. That actually got her playing for a long time. So thank you guys for all your support. I hope you liked my little comic book flip book at the beginning of the video because that took a week to make for that very small clip. But thank you guys. I appreciate all your support. Please remember to like the video. Thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Stay golden and take care. Bye-bye.